To Vintage Rose Stadium for season number 21 of Barrie Baycats Baseball. Tonight's Inter-County Baseball League game features the visiting Hamilton Cardinals and your Barrie Baycats. It's country night at the ballpark tonight, folks. Wear those hats proudly and enjoy your evening. We'll get into the starting lineups. First for the visiting Hamilton Cardinals, managed by Jeff Lounsbury. Leading off in right field, number 20, Tristan Osika. Batting second, the shortstop, number 12, Luis Jean. Batting third, the center fielder, number 55, Tyler Duncan. Batting fourth, at first base, number 30, Josh Niles. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 37, Anthony Oliarto. Batting sixth, at third base, number 6, Lane Renaud. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 50, Ryan Burnside. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 4, Sean Petner. And batting ninth, the designated fifth, the center fielder, number 15, Jay Wilson. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 34, James Anderson. Batting seventh, at shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 14, Owen Jensen. Pitching tonight for your Baycats, number 97, Frank Garces. Here are the umpires for tonight's contest. Calling the balls and strikes will be Chubba Day, and handling the bases, Jeff Rose and Ryan Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please stand if you are able to, and join us for the playing of the National Anthem. Thank you.
Live from Barrie Community Sports Complex in the township of Springwater, Inter-County Baseball. Tonight from Vintage Throne Stadium in Midhurst, it's the Hamilton Cardinals in town to battle the Barrie Baycats. Hello again, everyone, and a very happy good evening to you. With Patrick Melbourne and Kendra Doyle, I'm Ben Davey. Welcome to the broadcast. Aside from opening night, Patrick, tonight's game will likely be considered by many the most anticipated Baycats game of 2022 so far, as Frank Garces returns to the mound in Barrie for the first time since the 2018 IBL Championship Series.
And what a 2018 season it was for Frank Garces. He has just an unbelievable stat sheet from that year. Went 7-0 in the regular season, 3-0 in the playoffs, in ERA under 1 in both the regular season and the playoffs. And his strikeout to walk ratio is just absurd. In the regular season last year, he had 3 walks. He had 58 strikeouts. So he has 110 strikeouts to 10 walks now. This is his second start this season. We're looking forward to seeing Frank Garces at home in Barrie.
But first, we'll give you the starting lineup for the Hamilton Cardinals in their batting order 1 through 9. Tristan Osika, the leadoff man in right field. Luis Jean is the shortstop. He bats second. Tyler Duncan in center field, batting third. Cleanup man tonight, Josh Niles. He's at first base. Anthony Buonaiuto is in left field. He's hitting fifth. Lane Renaud, the third baseman, bats sixth. Number 7 hitter Ryan Burnside, he's handling catching duties. Second baseman is Sean Petner, he's batting 8th. And the designated hitter tonight is Josiah Devapalan, and he is batting in the number 9 position.
Well, we've seen Frank Garces in Barrie, and as we mentioned in the open, it was a very, very fun thing to watch. Frank Garces on this mound for the Barrie Baycats, so he's coming back. First start this year went okay. It did not go quite as dominant as 2018, but he was still really good. Went 6 innings, struck out 6, only walked the 1. Got the loss in that game, but he pitched well. And it was against a tough opponent in London. And tonight he gets the Hamilton Cardinals, who have not been seeing the ball very well. So we're hoping we'll see a really good one from Frank Garces today.
Home plate umpire is Chepave. Jeff Rose is behind the bag at first, and at third base tonight is Ryan Jackson. Garces has not pitched on this mound since Game 1 of the 2018 IBL Finals, August 28th against the Kitchener Panthers, nearly 4 years ago. You mentioned his debut in London earlier last week, Patrick, and pitched very well in that game despite the Baycats losing. This is his second appearance overall since his return, but his first chance for Baycat fans to see him here at home this year.
He only had 3 walks in 7 games, all starts in 2018 in the regular season, compared to those 58 strikeouts. So he's a guy that strikes out a lot of batters, does not miss the zone when he doesn't want to miss the zone. And now Baycats fans, for the first time since that game, can see him on the hill against this Cardinals lineup and Tristan Osika.
Baycats are wearing the Throwback Thursday red jerseys tonight, and the Hamilton Cardinals are wearing the powder blue with the red lettering and numerals. As Osika steps in, Garces does a few final arm swings and stretches on the hill as we get ready for the opening pitch here tonight. The wind and the left-hander deals, and it's a fastball outside. We're underway at 7:39 here at Vintage Throne Stadium on a beautiful night. Gorgeous sunny skies, a little bit of humidity, but not nearly as uncomfortable as Saturday's game.
Yeah, Saturday's game was something humidity-wise. It was extraordinarily hot, and I'm sure it had an on-field effect.
1-1 pitch. Garces working quickly, and it's a swing and a miss. Frank Garces, the left-hander, with the 1-2, and it's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Let's give you the defense tonight for the Barrie Baycats behind Mr. Garces.
Left to right in the outfield will be Noel McGarry-Doyle in left, Jake Wilson in center, Juan Familia is in right. And then in the infield, first baseman is James Anderson, second baseman is Owen Jensen, shortstop is Carson Burns, third baseman Brantfy Infante. And then the pitcher-catcher today, Tyler Plumpton for Frank Garces.
Luis Jean, the shortstop, comes to the plate for the Cardinals. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And this crowd really behind Garces tonight with every pitch. As mentioned, this is, aside from the home opener, probably the most anticipated game on the schedule this season. We didn't know when it would be. Garces joined this club a little over a week ago and made his debut in London in a very big game against the Majors. And this is his second appearance tonight of the 2022 campaign. 1-1, the count to Gene. Pitch from Garces on the ground. It's the shortstop, Carson Burns, routine play, and there are 2 away. Game time temperature, 23 degrees, feeling like 27 with the Humidex. Under a mainly sunny sky, sun's just starting to set over on the right field side. We do have a gusty wind tonight, not much of a factor right now. It was stronger earlier. It is blowing in and slightly from right to left, so that wind blowing in, certainly the pitchers like that here at Vintage Throne Stadium, and that's usually the case as this ballpark faces southwest. Keeps any fly balls in the park a little bit longer. This is not a home run hitter's park by any stretch. 405 to straight away and 325 down the lines. Tyler Duncan, the center fielder now with 2 away. Garces with a strike, and it's 1-1.
Garces has pitched in Major League Baseball for the San Diego Padres. Garces has pitched in Major League Baseball with the San Diego Padres. He's also pitched in the Dominican Winter League.
This one right up the middle, and the Cardinals get their first hit of the ball game off the bat of Tyler Duncan. 2-out single, and there's 1 on.
Got a pitch inside the zone and brought it right up the middle. It's a good middle infield defense, so if you're going to get it by them, you need to elevate it like Duncan did right there.
Four of the Cardinals' 9 hitters in the starting lineup tonight hitting 300 or better, and Tyler Duncan is one of them. Josh Niles is hitting 265. He's the cleanup man tonight. Runner leads. Pitch from Garces. Is a called strike, 0-1. Duncan is 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts this season. He does not go, and another strike. It's 0-2. Frank Garces really showing good command of the strike zone here in this top of the first inning. Fans with some applause, and the 0-2 pitch is lifted to left field, and that will drop in front of Noel McGarry-Doyle. So there's 2 on for the Cardinals with 2 out here in the top of the first inning. So back-to-back singles by Duncan and Niles, and it'll bring left fielder Anthony Buonaiuto to the plate.
Yeah, both those base hits were weak contact, so it's nothing super concerning early on, and it will not rattle Frank Garces on the mound. But it is a couple of base runners, and the first time the Cardinals have gotten in scoring position in this game.
So Duncan at second, Niles at first, but with 2 away, and Garces with an early jam here in this ball game.
Pitchers tend to not get super rattled when it comes to weak contact because they know they still hit their spot and did not give up the strong contact.
And he's getting ahead of everybody tonight. A called strike, 0-1 to Buonaiuto.
So when you give up the weak contact, you still have faith in your stuff, and you can go back to those pitches because you know you didn't miss by much.
First pitch strikes to 3 of the first 4. This one fouled away, and it's 0-2.
Because what the weak contact is... Well, that was loud.
Oh, my gosh. Are you okay?
It's a connection. Fine.
This one fouled off the screen. Okay, we're back.
Basically, weak contact, okay. Hard contact, not so okay. And both those hits were weak contact.
No balls, 2 strikes. Garces to the belt. Checks the runner. The leg kick. The 0-2 on the way. And it's lifted to center field. Right center. And it'll hang up there long enough for Jake Wilson. He'll take it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Cardinals strand 2, and through a half, we're scoreless here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Rogers TV in Barrie and Baycats TV on YouTube. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared. Baycats come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's look at Josh Batlow's lineup tonight. Noel McGarry-Doyle, the leadoff man in left field. Juan Familia up to the number 2 spot in the order. He's in right field. Ryan Rio, who had a big 2-run homer last night in Toronto. He's the DH batting third. Brant Fianfatti, the cleanup hitter at third base. Jake Wilson in center field bats fifth. James Anderson at first tonight. He's batting sixth. Carson Burns at short. Tyler Plumpton, the catcher. Owen Jensen, the second baseman, to round out the order tonight for the Barrie Baycats.
On the mound for the Hamilton Cardinals is the former Barrie Baycat, Adrian Salcedo. He has had an up-and-down season so far this year, but he was a very, very good Baycats pitcher. And the crowd here very used to seeing him. Today, though, he's in a different uniform, and he gets to take on the Barrie Baycats.
So a couple of Baycats on the hill tonight from the previous decade of Baycat history, Adrian Salcedo, and Baycat starter tonight, Frank Garces. On Throwback Thursday, how appropriate.
Yeah, how about that?
A little bit of nostalgia. Here's the pitch on the way from Salcedo. And he gets a called strike. It's 0-2.
That's a good take. You don't know whether that's going to be a strike or a ball early in the game. And even if it's a strike against you as a batter, you start to realize what the strike zone is.
McGarry-Doyle 1 for 3 last night in Toronto. Has the average at 355. And it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Right-hander Adrian Salcedo with the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. First strikeout of the game for Salcedo, 1 away.
Salcedo this season is 1-3 with a 12.76 ERA, so very much not what he's been looking for on the hill. But his strikeout total is up. He's averaging just over a strikeout an inning, and the walk count is lower than that, so just look for your pitches inside the strike zone, those strikeout pitches from Salcedo if you're the hitter against him. He's not going to throw too much outside the zone.
This has all the markings of a stellar pitcher's duel tonight. Adrian Salcedo and Frank Garces. Garces getting out of an early jam at the top of the first. Cardinals stranding 2. And Salcedo quickly ahead of Juan Familia. No balls and 2 strikes.
First inning brought to you by Starting Lineup Uniforms and Apparel. Your season starts here.
The leg kick and the windup. 0-2 pitch is low. Ryan Rio, the DH on deck. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed in the dirt, picked up by the catcher. Burnside makes the throw down, and it's in time. There's 2 away. I don't think we did the Hamilton defense, so let's give you that behind Adrian Salcedo tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. In left field, it is Anthony Guanayuto. Center fielder is Tyler Duncan. Right fielder is Tristan Osika. Third baseman Lane Reynolds. Shortstop is Luis Jean. Second baseman is Sean Petner. First baseman is Josh Niles. Behind the plate is Ryan Burnside for Adrian Salcedo.
Back-to-back strikeouts for the right-hander. McGarry Doyle and Familia both down swinging, and Ryan Rio, who hit a towering home run to right field last night at Christie Pitts. If you missed that, that's up on our social media feeds.
And just to correct myself right there, the pronunciation on the left fielder is Buonwato. So apologies to him for that. Is Anthony Buonwato in left field.
Yeah. 1-0 pitch on the way to Ryan Rio. And he lifts this one to left field. Foul territory. Buonwato runs over. It's in the bullpen and out of play.
Well, it's like I said in that highlight clip. Rio's really been seeing the ball super well over the last few games. He's up to 5 home runs on the season now. And you were there at Christie Pitts yesterday. It was a big home run.
Yeah, it was a great start to the game for the Baycats. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do much else other than that offensively, as that pitch is high and away to Rio, and the count is 2-1. Rio showing a good eye there. Baycats had their chances. There was a moment in the ballgame where the bases were loaded and nobody out, and Ryan Rio came to the plate. It was in the 8th inning, I believe, and the Baycats were unable to get a run across the plate in that frame. Rio struck out, and the Baycats were very frustrated with the home plate umpires' balls and strikes. This one into right field, it's a base hit, and Rio's aboard with a 2-out single.
Connects with that pitch from Salcedo. Upper middle in the zone, and was able to get it off the end of the bat and get it into right field. Just good pitch selection there from Rio. And that's what you do when you're on as a hitter. You just get those pitches and you do not miss them. It's so much harder as a pitcher to pitch around guys like that, because no matter what you throw them, even if it's a little bit outside the zone, guys still tend to connect because they're seeing the ball so well.
Ryan Rio hit .412 for the Barrie Baycats last season to lead the team. He's got this year's average up to .318.
He's having an excellent month of July.
And this one's hit deep to center field. Tyler Duncan, couple steps to his right, makes the catch. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. Baycats strand a runner. And we're through 1 at Vintage Throne Stadium in a scoreless tie. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
For the Baycats in the first inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
No score, Cardinals and Baycats as we head to the top of the second inning, and Frank Garces will face Lane Renaud, Ryan Burnside, and Sean Pettner.
Second inning brought to you by Barrie Today, barrietoday.com, local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. barrietoday.com, your community, your news.
Renaud hitting .222. This is his 27th game of the season. 4 homers and 15 RBIs. First pitch from Garces just misses outside. Ball 1.
Garces is a guy who tends to go late into games because of that strike throwing approach where he doesn't throw that many balls. So he keeps the walk down, but he also keeps the pitch count down as well.
Renaud kind of pool cued that one back to the backstop, and it's 1-1. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Baycats wearing red tonight, the Cardinals wearing blue. Throwback Thursday here at the ballpark.
We were a little worried that it would be 2 red jerseys.
Yeah, we've had some games. I think Brantford was here one night, and we had an all-red matchup, and those are tricky games to call. Tough for the fans, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch from Garces, inside. And the count is even 2-2.
Some good velo on that pitch and the movement as it curved from the outside part of the zone off the hand to the inside. That would fool some batters. Good job to lay off there by Renaud.
Pitch on the way, check swing. Did he go? He did. He did. It's strike 3. Jeff Rose, the first base umpire. Just sort of made a
that's the umpire you have to go to.
Nonchalant gesture there with the right hand. I had to be careful before calling it.
That's the umpire you have to go to with the right-handed hitters, but it's a pretty harsh call from at least my eye. But the Baycats catch a bit of a break there.
Fun fact, while we're talking about Jeff Rose, the first base umpire tonight, was the home plate umpire when Frank Garces last pitched in this park in 2018. And I only know that because I was looking up the box score. I don't remember the game that well.
I was going to say, you didn't even call that game, so it would have been a heck of a memorization.
Well, I may have been here. It was in the IBL Championships against Kitchener, so. On the ground, shortstop, Burns fires it to first, and there's 2 away.
Would have been Ben Schulman that called that game, right?
It would have. That night, Garces threw 9 shutout innings in a 1-0 Baycats loss in 11 innings. That was the opening game of the 2018 IBL Championship Series between Kitchener and Barrie, and the Baycats would come back to win. Despite dropping the opener, Barrie would come back to win that series in 6 games, their 5th of 6 straight IBL titles. Garces did not pitch here in 2019. So it's been a while.
It has, but I'm sure he remembers it.
He's got to be pumped up tonight, too. We mentioned how stoked these fans are. They are really into this ball game with every single pitch.
Oh, that was nasty. Off speed. Got it on the inside part of the strike zone. And after bringing such big velo earlier in the at-bat, bringing the off speed there and fooling Sean Pettner.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The pitch from Garces, and it just missed.
He's got such a good pitch mix. It keeps the batters guessing.
Nice job by Plumpton framing that ball, hoping to get the called strike, but...
Yeah, he's already shown today how good he is at pitch framing.
Home plate umpire Chubb Ave tonight, and this one's fouled off to the left side, and it's out of play. Count 1-2. That 1-0 Baycat loss in 2018, the Panthers scored the lone run of the game in the 11th off Baycat reliever Chris Nagorski. Garces allowed 7 hits that night, struck out 8, walked 2 in a 9 shutout inning loss. Breaking pitch low, and it's 2-2. Boy, those were some good matchups between Kitchener and Barrie 2018, and then again in 2019. Baycats winning the championship series both of those years. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. And here's the pitch from Frank Garces. Swung on and missed. 3rd strikeout of the game for the left-hander, and we're through an inning and a half, still scoreless. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
For the Cardinals in the second inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. favorite radio station, when the Rock 95 Morning Crew draws a winner for every home game this season. The prize consists of 2 adult tickets to the game, a t-shirt, a team hat, complimentary burger or hot dog, fries, and coffee, and the opportunity to announce the Baycats' third inning right here at Vintage Throne Stadium. If any Baycats pitcher strikes out 5 or more batters at any home game throughout the regular season, they get 5 free wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. They're located in the Park Place Plaza. We're already at 3 strikeouts so far tonight.
Bottom of the second inning, and the Baycats come to bat in a scoreless tie as Jake Wilson, James Anderson, and Carson Burns do up to face Adrian Salcedo.
We're just talking in the break about how Frank Garces coming into this team has really just changed just about everything. I mean, it's a whole different look to the start of that rotation, and he is not disappointed in his first 2 innings of work here.
And, you know, it's not only the pitchers, obviously, he adds a boost to the starting rotation, but, you know, really the entire ball club. When you add a guy to the mix who has some big league baseball experience, he's been there, he knows what it takes to get to the show. You know, these players are going to learn so much from having him around here.
Absolutely.
And a lot of young guys on the Baycats this year, a lot of 21, 22-year-old players. And a guy like Frank Garces, who's about 10 years older, he's been around a long time.
So I have a bit of a cool tie-in for you. We mentioned on the last broadcast that you're going to bring old baseball cards.
Yeah.
So, and I mentioned that there was a Major League broadcast where one of the booth analysts tried the old gum from the baseball cards, okay? So
you're not making me try that.
I'm not. Although that would be very amusing. The analyst I was talking about is Padres analyst Mark Grant.
Oh,
okay?
Cool.
Who is an excellent commentator.
1-2 pitch from Salcedo, and it bounces up to the plate.
So he's working with Don Orsillo now, but at the time, he tried the gum. Well, he tried the gum with Orsillo, but a few years before that, he was working with the late Dick Enberg, right? And Dick Enberg and Mark Grant was the broadcast booth during Frank Garces' appearances with the San Diego Padres. So that's a cool little tie-in where Garces played with the Padres, and the announcer was a guy who had eaten some old gum.
Amazing. For those who missed my story on what night were we here? Was it Saturday night last week? Anyways, I picked up about 30 years ago 6 boxes of 1989 Topps baseball cards. And I've held on to them all these years. I've opened a few packs here and there. Maybe 4 or 5 of them I've opened. And yes, I did try the gum.
And you're definitely not going to try the gum on air?
I tried the gum already. This one's hit to center field. And it's shallow enough. It's the second baseman making a backward somersault. Sean Petner for the catch.
What a play. He had his back to home plate, almost jumping as he made that catch. That was phenomenal.
And he gets a swat on the backside by his teammates as he puts his cap back on.
That's as good a play in the infield as I've seen all year from any team. Well done, Sean Petner.
It takes a lot of athleticism to backpedal like that, keep your eye on the ball, do the somersault and make the catch, and hang on to it.
And communicate with your teammates as well, because they all knew it was his ball. Oftentimes you'll see the outfielder behind him move in and not even realize there's a second baseman there, but the fact that they both backed up and let him catch that ball, that showed that he was being very vocal, calling for it. What a play all around.
So 6 boxes of these cards I bought, 5 or 6 I think, and I still got 4 of them left unopened. So I'm handing out packs of baseball cards. I gave everybody of our broadcast team here a pack of these to open up. and gave Josh Matlow a pack. He really appreciated them. But he did mention that most of the players on this team, or a lot of them at least, weren't even born in 1989. So these cards are from before they were even born.
Yeah, from before I was born, too.
33 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Frank Garces is 31.
I'm not 33.
Yeah. Little soft liner on the ground, and it's over to first in time for the out. 2 down.
Just looking up Adrian Salcedo's stats with the Baycats. 2019 across the playoffs and regular season, he went 13-1 across 17 games, 16 starts. Struck out 120, walked only 31. So he was very good with Baycats in 2019. And I believe that was his only year with the Baycats. Hasn't gone quite as well this season for Adrian.
Carson Burns now to first pitch swinging, and it's to center field. That'll stay in the park. Duncan over to his right. Makes the catch. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Adrian Salcedo and the Hamilton Cardinals. We're through 2. It is scoreless on Baycats TV and Rogers TV.
No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bachet, a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie, or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp. See you this summer!
Baycats signed some players. Welcome back to Finch Throat Stadium, by the way. Baycats signed some players over the last few days. We saw one of them on Saturday, Cooper Lamb. But to tell you more about Lamb and all the other players, here is Kendra Doyle.
Before the game, I caught up with Josh Matlow to discuss the 4 new additions to the Baycats roster. Pitcher Ethan Franklin, outfielder Cooper Lamb, pitcher Kurt Dawkins, and catcher Josh Cote. Josh Matlow said he's very excited to welcome these new Baycats who can hopefully benefit to the Baycats' hopeful playoff run. I was able to talk to Baycats' new catcher, Josh Cote, before his first game as a Baycat. Josh said he is really excited to be a part of the Baycats before heading to school out south and help develop his skills further. He mentioned how he was excited to bring a good hitting approach to the team and defense.
Thanks, Kendra. Baycats making a lot of moves. Of course, the signing deadline was, I believe it was Monday, and now these teams are essentially going to look the way they look right now all the way up to the playoffs.
Yeah, great report, Kendra. Thank you. It's going to be exciting to get a chance to see some of these new additions to the Baycat roster. And
so I opened that gum pack that you mentioned.
Yeah, are you going to mention this?
Well,
this is
I'm going to mention 2 things. First off, I had the gum and it just crumbled.
It like almost disintegrated in your fingers.
And I have to put sanitizer on my hands because it's so sticky.
It's like 10 different pieces there. It just shattered like a piece of glass.
But
so that's the bubble gum.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what happened when you opened the pack.
First off, I got a couple of XJs, including Pat Borders. Nice. But I mentioned in the last inning that in the broadcast booth for Frank Garces and eating the old gum on air was Padres analyst Mark Grant. I got a Mark Grant card in the pack.
This is unbelievable. Like Mark Grant, I don't know how long it's been since I've even heard that name. You referenced him.
Right, because he's
in the last half inning.
He's in the booth for the
and then you open a pack of baseball
Padres.
cards, and his card is in the pack that you open. There's no way, like, in a million years, what are the odds of that happening?
Deva Pollen goes down on strikes. Yeah, it's something,
so
eh?
odd.
Former SF Giant, former
let's
Padre.
See the career stats on him there, because
So,
I hardly remember the guy.
Yeah, he was a good pitcher. He was better for the, I don't know, he was good for the Giants and the Padres. I believe, hold on, I got to check this. 1 sec.
Center field, Wilson hardly has to move. 2 down. 2 quick outs here for Frank Garces. Garces has retired 6 straight. Mark Grant.
Mark Grant.
See, I'm an old school baseball guy, much older than you. That's a name I hardly even can recall. I remember him pitching, but in the National League, I didn't pay much attention to those teams.
Well, most people now would know him from his commentating, because he's a very well-known commentator for the Padres. Again, worked with Dick Enberg, worked with Matt Vasgersian, now works with Don Orsillo.
So he started with the Giants, then went to the Padres. This card here is him with the Padres in his 3rd season. So you open that up at a pack of cards, literally minutes after referencing him in some chit-chat about Garces and the Padres, and then Mark Grant, and then boom, you've got that's just crazy.
It's pretty cool.
How do you even account for that? I don't know. No balls, 2 strikes. Garces to Gene, and the time is called. Gene trying to disrupt Garces' momentum here. Not a bad idea. He's cruising right along. And the fans will start the applause again.
So judging by you not really knowing Mark Grant, I'm guessing you don't watch a ton of Padres games.
No, and like I said, I didn't watch hardly any National League baseball at all. I got to be honest with you. Like for probably the first 10, 12 years of me watching baseball.
Their broadcast is good.
On the ground, and it's through. 3rd base hit of the night for the Hamilton Cardinals. Well, like a lot of people my age, you grew up watching what was on television, and that was the Blue Jays,
yep.
And you maybe picked up a game of the week on NBC. You know, it wasn't like we could watch all of these out-of-town broadcasts like you can now. And the neat thing about watching baseball now, I mean, just with the way that the games get posted on YouTube and other forms of social media, is that you can watch the games the next morning or the next day. And
yep.
You don't even have to
Absolutely.
watch the games live. And I think a lot of young viewers, they consume baseball so much more differently than people my age.
So I was talking about the move that sent Mark Grant from the Giants to the Padres, and I just wanted to confirm it.
We're really going into the weeds with this Mark Grant stuff tonight.
Kevin Mitchell went the other way, and Kevin Mitchell was an awfully famous SF Giant.
He was a star outfielder.
Yep.
Yeah, and he played, I remember him with the Padres too.
Yep.
Yeah. 0-2 the count. Frank Garces ahead in the count again. Trying to finish off the 3rd. Looks at the runner. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Frank Garces through 3, and we're still scoreless at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
For the Cardinals in the 3rd inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Baycats fans, that's 5 strikeouts for a Baycats pitcher here tonight, which means you get yourself 5 free wins on the way out of the ballpark tonight. That coupon for you, courtesy of Buffalo Wild Wings, located in the Park Place Plaza. Hey, fans, we have representatives in the ballpark going around the audience tonight, selling 50-50 tickets tonight. Get yours for a chance at winning a big cash prize here at the ballpark tonight. The grand prize draw will be held at 7. Good luck. you come on up to the broadcast booth.
Third inning brought to you by First Aid Canada, your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Tyler Plumpton has been seeing the ball as well as any Barrie Baycat over the last few months. He has really had an offensive breakout, and it's all while playing plus defense behind the plate. And you hear the crowd as Plumpton is walking up to the plate, announced on the PA system by Rob Daniels. He's hitting .364 this season, and Ben Davey has had quite a year, both offensively and defensively.
No question. And you look at this bottom of the Baycat batting order with Plumpton in the number. You look at Plumpton in the number 8 spot in the lineup. Owen Jensen right behind him, the number 9 hitter. Jensen hitting .370. That has to be probably the strongest 8-9 punch in the IBL.
No question. It's like having another top of the order down there.
1-0 pitch from Salcedo. Swing and a miss. Both pitchers really dominating so far in this ball game. We haven't had a lot of pitchers duels at Vintage Throne Stadium this year, but this certainly has the hallmarks of a possible low-scoring nail-biter here tonight.
I was just looking at Kevin Mitchell's baseball reference there, since we mentioned him in the last inning. He was a good player. Yeah.
You can see he made a barehanded catch in the outfield. I think it's probably on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's probably out there for you to look up.
They were showing that on a Giants broadcast.
He just got twisted the wrong way, and he wasn't going to catch it with his glove, so he reached up with his bare hand.
And he just reached out with his bare hand and grabbed it.
While running back.
That was something.
I actually can't recall anybody else doing that now that I think about it.
I was listening to their announcers, and I think both of them agreed they'd never seen anything like that.
So you got some good cards in this pack here. I mean, Lou Whitaker, there's a Hall of Famer. Canadian Kirk McCaskill. You mentioned Pat Borders. Oral Hershiser. I mean, there's a...
Yep, Dodgers ace.
Yep.
Another guy who's in the broadcast booth now.
Yeah. 2-2. On the ground, foul. Heads up over on that.
So what year is this?
These are 89.
Just talking about
cards.
Broadcasters. I think Buck Martinez would have been retired by then, but I think Pat Tabler would be in this set somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he absolutely was playing. Tabler was played on the Blue Jays in the World Series.
Right. He might have been on Cleveland back then.
Yeah, probably in '89. Yeah, probably Cleveland or maybe Kansas City. This one's shallow to the second baseman, Sean Pettner, and there's one out.
The second baseman, number 14.
Well, Josh Matlow thought they were kind of cool. I gave him a pack.
And, did anyone eat the gum?
I've been advising people not to. We don't want anyone getting sick.
I know of one person that ate the gum.
Who tried it? Somebody behind us? Oh, okay. Why are you saying that quietly?
I'm not telling on who.
I did try it. A few years ago, I opened a pack and I tried it, and I was like, that was awful. Couldn't get the taste out of my mouth for days.
Days?
Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
A little bit. I'd be concerned if it was days. Well, I've heard it just kind of disintegrates.
It did. It just sort of,
not great.
Crumbled into nothing.
So you said 89, right?
1989 Topps baseball cards.
Yeah, it would have been with the Kansas City Royals that year.
Right.
So maybe I'll get a Kansas City Royals Pat Tabler in the next pack I open.
We'll see, but I like the idea. Josh liked it too. We'll give a pack of these cards to the Baycat player of the game.
Yep.
If they win.
So. And in the future, we're hoping to get Baycats baseball cards as well.
0-2 pitch. Fouled off. I love baseball cards.
I think next year, Baycats baseball cards are expected.
That's a great idea. Hopefully we can get a sponsor for them.
had them
Many
in the
years
past.
ago, some of the viewers that are as old as me will remember there were fire safety baseball cards that the Blue
They've
Jays
had those recently.
They're-
Like I have a 2013 and a 2010.
Oh, I didn't realize they did
No,
them
they've done them
recently.
recently.
But when I was a kid, those were a lot of fun to collect.
Yeah.
And they were free.
I got them at the Oro Fair. Is where I got them. They had a 10 and they were giving them away. I got one of them was a 2012 set because Emilio Bonifacio was in it, and I
Wow.
think one of them was 2010 because Rajay Davis was in it.
Very cool.
So I have a couple of those. Yeah, those are fun. And then I also have the 85.
Wow.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. Called strike by Chubave.
I don't think.
Jensen tried to check his swing, but I think it was a called strike 3.
I can almost hear the messages of talk about the game from whoever's watching right now. But just to finish up this point, I don't think I have all the 85 set in one place anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I had that one, and that was the same team that was in the Buck Martinez book.
Right.
From worst to first in 1985. So that was kind of cool to like.
I think it
connect
was
all
the
that.
85 season that Martinez broke his leg on
Yep.
a double play where he threw the ball wildly into left field and tagged out 2 runners, 2 Seattle Mariners at home on the same play.
Yeah, I haven't read the 1986 book that he did as well, but I read the 1985 one, and I highly recommend finding that.
That's great. I have that book too. It's a terrific
It's a good
read.
one. Do you have the 86 one?
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I think I do have it somewhere.
I might want to borrow that if that's
I'll see if
okay.
I can find it for
Yeah.
you. I know I have the 85 one for sure. The 86, I don't know if I borrowed it or if I bought it, but I did read it. And that was a really disappointing year for the Blue Jays. And
They
then,
did a Shai Davidi and John Lott did a 2013 book because that was kind of a similarly disappointing year.
yeah.
Jays.
And then
They're
Buck wrote
interesting
another
Jays
book
books.
too. I think it was called
Change Up.
Change
Yep.
Up.
But
Yep.
that was more recent.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different perspective of
Good writer.
kind of his life and experiences as a broadcaster.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
And how cool to hear him back in the booth now.
Yes,
for the Blue
it's
Jays
amazing
this
to have
week.
him back in the booth. We should mention that. It was just so nice to have his voice back on the TV.
I saw a little clip on Twitter that somebody posted of Buck walking outside the Rogers Center. And
Yeah, that
the
was-
fans
that was
actually
very
applauded
cool. Yeah.
as he was kind of on his way back to his taxi or whatever.
That was very, very cool. Great to have him back.
2-2 on the ground. High hopper, little in-betweener, and Petner's unable to come up with it cleanly. That was a tough play.
And you have to field those perfectly to get Noel McGarry Doyle out, and he did not.
Second hit for the Baycats.
The right fielder, number 22.
Petner played that about as well as he possibly could. Had to hurry, like you got one of the fastest guys in the league tearing down the first baseline, and just wasn't able to glove it cleanly.
And that's a tough play with McGarry Doyle going first because you have to get that perfectly. And nobody on the team's going to give that any thought because of that amazing catch he made earlier in this game.
You got to think so fast. Are you going to wait for it, or are you going to charge it? Those in-betweeners are very tricky.
Second base is tough.
So runner on first, 2 out. It brings Juan Familia to the plate. McGarry Doyle goes on the first pitch. It's a foul tip. The throw down. The tag not in time.
You think about the way second base is set up as a position, it often doesn't get the credit for being as tough as a position like shortstop, but you still have to have that range because you're covering so much of the field. It's often a saying when players move off shortstop, okay, you still have to have the range for second base and you still have to have the arm for third base. It's just that you have to have both for shortstop, which makes that the highlight. But second base, the range you have to have and the agility you have to get to these balls is really, really tough.
We saw that catch Petner made earlier in the game as well. So Salcedo now with a runner at second, 2 away. Count 0-1 to Juan Familia. Here's the pitch. Just missed inside 1-1. For McGarry Doyle, it's his 23rd stolen base of the season. He's been caught 6 times. Wouldn't put it past him to try to swipe another one right here. Checking the runner is Salcedo. McGarry Doyle with a medium-sized lead. He does not go, and this one's hit to left center field. Going back is Buonawato, and he makes the catch at the warning track for the third out of the inning. A long, loud out off the bat of Juan Familia. So the Baycats strand a runner in the third. We're through 3, and we're scoreless at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle
Just make it clear it's going on out. Fourth inning brought to you by Centerfield Foods, feeding fans and families at the Barrie Community Sports Complex since 2005. Frank Garces back on the mound, the lefty making his final warm-up toss. He has been, as advertised tonight, it's still a scoreless game, and back on the mic, here's Ben Davey.
Thank you, Patrick. We've got a great crowd here tonight for this Thursday night matchup between the Cardinals and the Baycats. The much-anticipated home return of Frank Garces, his second appearance of 2022, and looking for his first win in this second stint with the Barrie Baycats. Scoreless tie so far. Baycats with 2 hits and the Cardinals with 3. And a called strike to start off Josh Niles. Niles got Hamilton's second hit of the night. Cardinals were able to get 2 on in the first. Garces got out of that jam and then surrendered just a single in the third. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Again, Frank Garces ahead in the count.
Yeah, he's mixing his pitch as well, getting ahead of hitters. He was completely fooled, Josh Niles was, on that pitch.
0-2. And he throws that one in the dirt.
That's a good miss. He missed low in the zone. He almost got him to chase. He saw the bat go up from his shoulder a little bit. He thought about it. You could go back inside now.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. Garces picks his spot. That is a textbook at bat right there if you're a pitcher.
So because you're almost expecting it to go back inside after it's down and away, Niles is standing there waiting for that inside pitch and expecting it to be inside. So when he sees that it's coming outside, it almost looks like it's way more outside than it actually is. So Garces gets it right back into the zone, doesn't have to bring it back outside because it looks like it's going in that direction anyway, is able to get the strikeout. You saw him. He's fooling batters. The bat went up from the shoulder, almost ready to swing on a pitch in the dirt, and then it didn't even budge on a pitch right in the middle.
Yeah, throws an 0-2 slider in the dirt, then comes right back, just catches the corner on that 1-2 pitch. And Frank Garces putting on a clinic here with the art of deception. And this one's to center field. And a running catch made by Jake Wilson, 2 away.
Still no real hard contact off him either. The first two batters to reach were both soft contact. That one was a little bit harder, but right to a fielder. You're not concerned about that one either.
Sounded good off the bat, but just didn't have enough carry. And again, almost right at Jake Wilson. So there's 2 out in the inning now for number 6 hitter Lane Renault. Garces is retired 9 of 10. And that puts that to an end. Base hit to right field.
Yeah, he missed his spot there. Plumpton was setting up down and away, and it just got a little bit too much of the plate, middle and lower quadrants. That's okay. You can miss your spot a little bit if you're pitching as well as he has.
And if you're Hamilton, you got to be feeling pretty good. You're battling a tough team here in the Baycats, and obviously one of the IBL's most dominant pitchers now,
and
Frank Garces.
Yeah, you're doing well. You're getting weak contact, and you're just battling through at-bats, learning as you go through. But you're also getting the best appearance of the season that Adrian Salcedo has had. So the Cardinals, who have not been on a good streak lately at all, their confidence is rising a little bit right now.
2 great pitchers tonight, setting the stage for what so far has been a very entertaining ball game.
Hamilton is without a win in their last 10 games.
And a called strike. It's 0-2.
And we heard it from, or I heard it, from Thomas West on the Maple Leafs broadcast last night. It looked like the Brantford Red Sox would be at the bottom of this standings, but they're now only a couple of games back from the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals now have lost 12 straight, 6 of 24. One of those wins was against the Baycats. So this is a game that they're fired up for as well. Take nothing away from Hamilton. They know they can beat this Baycat team, and they're hanging tough with their own star pitcher in Salcedo. Four hits off Garces tonight. And down he goes.
Strike right in the zone again. Frustrated at the plate because he thought he should have hit it.
7 strikeouts for Frank Garces through 4. Go to the bottom half of the inning. We are still scoreless. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared.
Fans, Baycats Shop is your one-stop shop for all things Baycats, from jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and fan gear. Baycats Shop has it all. Visit shopbaycats.com today or follow on Instagram at shopbaycats. They've got the display here at the ballpark. We can see different shirts. This They have a roll catch range. There's a
Leading
green
off the fourth
one.
inning for the Baycats, designated hitter number 27.
Some pretty cool stuff. You can go to their website right now.
You can get throwback stuff, as you mentioned. There's some nice even throwback polo shirts.
Ryan Rio gets some of the biggest applause here at Vintage Throne Stadium as he steps into the batter's box, and stepping back to the mic is Ben Davey.
Final regular season matchup of the year between the Cardinals and the Baycats, and most of them been pretty good games. Barrie is 4-1 in 5 matchups against the Cardinals so far. We mentioned Hamilton, one of their 6 wins was against Barrie at home. And this one's fouled off to the left side. A 4-2 Cardinal win on a Sunday afternoon in Hamilton on May 29th. Jacob Gadjic picked up the win in relief for the Cardinals that afternoon. Baycats wins were 5-4, 3-2, 11-4, and 7-5. So 3 of those 4 Baycat wins, pretty close scores. You might look at the standings and think this is an easy opponent for the Baycats. Not really the case when you look at some of those margins.
Rio showing a bit of bunt against Adrian Salcedo, as Salcedo laughs a bit on the way to the mound. These two are former teammates on that 2019 team.
0-2. And that's inside. And the at-bat continues. Rio got the Baycats' first single of the ball game in the bottom of the first inning. Baycats now a game and a half behind the Leafs with that loss last night at Christie Pitts. That was a tough one for the Baycats. With a win, they would have pulled ahead of Toronto in the standings last night. Fouled off, and the count holds at 1-2. Well, and Jackfish, top of the standings, 27-8, a half a game ahead of London. That's shaping up to be a tough battle at the top of the standings. And the count is 2-2.
We mentioned Rio's home run yesterday at Christie Pitts. What was it like being at the game and not calling the game after calling the last couple?
I didn't sit under a tree, I can tell you that. I went down to the benches right behind the Barrie side.
Nice. That's where I called one of the ones earlier this season.
Oh, you did play-by-play down there?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Strike 3. Rio didn't like the call. Takes his time as he strolls back from the home plate area.
It has been a bigger strike zone at times today. Some of the Cardinals not thrilled with it either, but it's been consistent and both pitchers are throwing strikes. That did look like a strike.
Always a fun experience at Christie Pitts in Toronto. The fans very lively again last night, especially those fans down that left field line. They really like to get on the opposing pitchers, especially. Cale Clarkson, I could tell, maybe struggled a little bit out there with some of the chants and the jeering that was going on, and it's not easy. I mean, I don't want to call it a hostile environment, but you got fans there that are really into the ball game. This one to left field, and it's a base hit. They were on Adam Kahn all night as well, and he had to battle through it. So it's tough if you're a young pitcher in an environment like that. All of a sudden, you've got this group of fans, chanting your name and saying all kinds of silly stuff all night long.
Yeah, that's something he'll undoubtedly learn as he goes on his career. He's one of the younger Baycats right now. He'll just learn that when you're on the mound, you just need to ignore all the distractions.
So runner on with 1 out, and it's Jake Wilson, the center fielder. That one just missed.
And there are going to be distractions, whether it's fans making a lot of noise or moving a lot behind home plate, or whether it's fielders making a little bit more noise than you want to when it comes to communicating. It can be your own team, it can be the other team when it comes to runners on first or third, trying to jump around and distract you a little bit.
Ball gets away, and down to second goes Branfi Infante.
But you need to shut all of that out when you're on the mound and just focus on the communication between you and your catcher.
Yeah, I think the key is really to use those distractions to your advantage. And if you can, like a veteran like Brad Grieveson out there on the mound, and he's pitched at Christie Pitts many, many times. He's familiar with that environment. Came into the game and banged off 4 strikeouts in a row. And they were all over him as soon as he took the hill. But
well, he looked good again in relief. But that's something that veteran ball players learn more and more, and they can use those distractions to their advantage.
Past the first baseman, Josh Niles. It's into right field. Rounding third is Infante. Here's the throw to the plate. He is a dead duck. Down to second goes Wilson, but a costly move trying to send Branfi Infante home on that. And Tristan Osika throwing an absolute bullet from right field.
Yeah, good throw from right field.
First
And
baseman number 34.
Infante thrown out.
Anderson.
It's a 2 out in the inning now as Infante unable to score on that ball hit to right.
Just to finish that point about using just distractions to your advantage, it almost becomes like a walk-up song if you use it to your advantage the right way, because you come in and everybody's focused on you, everybody's yelling. It might not be to you, but you can almost pretend it is, and you can use that behind you and make it your own.
I can't even imagine what it would be like to stand on the mound at a ballpark and just have fans yelling your name. And I mean, some of the stuff they yell is funny, some of it is mean. But you're a ball player, you got to deal with it.
A lot of it's a bit much in Toronto, to be honest, but it is what it is.
They bring a lot of energy.
They bring a lot of passion.
You'd rather see that than nothing at all, I suppose.
It's true.
But
they also kind of forget sometimes that everybody is human.
the other interesting things with those fans, and I noticed this last night,
Yep.
the game ended,
Yep.
and they stayed there on the hill. They didn't leave after the game.
Well, it's kind of like a party for them,
They
right?
got their blankets
and I say
their
that in a good way.
beverages and their picnic baskets, and
It's a gathering. It's almost like a bit of a party atmosphere.
they got music going out there, and
Yeah.
the game ends, but
And keep in mind, it is a public park, right? So they can go down there and do
every
what
other
they want.
stadium, the game ends, the fans leave. Not at Christie Pitts.
Yep.
They're still hanging around. So
Waiting for broadcasters from the Barrie Baycats to make their way slowly up the hill and hopefully not fall like I did in the first game.
it's quite an experience. 2-1 pitch outside.
Did I tell you about that? When I got to the ballpark?
Yeah, you had a slip?
Yeah, that game where I was calling it from the bench on the Baycats side, I went down perhaps a little too fast. I don't know if you've seen these shoes, but they don't exactly have a lot of traction.
Now, did that happen during the game?
No, before the game.
Okay, because if it happens during the game, you're going to hear that from the fans. They are going to be on you.
And I'd have deserved to hear that from the fans. Let's be honest here.
Strike, and it's 3-2. Remember the first time I went to Christie Pitts, just as a fan, I didn't know that they didn't charge for tickets. I'd never seen the park before. And so we sat on the hill, and I thought, boy, we're really lucky we came late, and they're not going to come around and collect a ticket from us. And then I realized, wait a minute, these games are free for everybody.
Well, I came in a game in 2019, and not only there's no tickets or anything, but they also gave me a program, and I was very, very happy about that. If you are in the area in Christie Pitts, we do recommend going down and checking out a game. You can see your Baycats on the road, of course, and potentially it could be a playoff series.
Absolutely. Yep, it's definitely looking like that's a very strong possibility given the standings. Runner goes right back up the middle and is picked up by the second baseman. He has no play. Here comes Wilson, and he scores! That ball was hit just slow enough that Sean Pettner was unable to come up with it and make a play, and Wilson was zipping around third base. Pettner unable to make a play at the plate, and the Baycats score the first run of the ball game.
That weak exit velo just throwing off Pettner a little bit. That's what happens when it's an unexpected speed heading toward you. When it's either a little too slow or a little too fast, it throws you off.
It came off the bat hard, and then it just kind of died when it hit the ground. First run of the game across the plate for the Baycats as Wilson makes it 1-0 Barrie here in the fourth. In a game where runs might be very hard to come by on both sides. That play may end up proving to be huge. So here's Carson Burns now with 2 out in the fourth. Burns waggles the bat. And first pitch swinging right to first base. Niles steps on the bag. And that does it for Barrie in the fourth. However, Jake Wilson scores on an RBI single by James Anderson, and it's 1-0 Baycats after 4. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
Fifth inning brought to you by Etal Paving for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial paving needs, providing quality service for over 37 years because you deserve the best. Got through that faster than Rob Daniels. Here's Ben Davey.
Good pace to that tag, Patrick. Two others not an award for tag reading. You'd have my vote. 1-0 Baycats with Jake Wilson scoring on a ball hit off the bat of James Anderson that has been scored an error to Sean Pettner, the second baseman. So no RBI on the play for Anderson, but Wilson scoring the game's lone run. And it's 1-0 Barrie through 4. Frank Garces out to work the fifth. This is a guy that can go deep in a ball game, as we all know. And it's 1-1. Not that the Baycats are expecting to use a lot of relievers tonight, but there are some pretty fresh arms down there. Barrie used just 2 relievers last night in that loss to Toronto. Maple Leafs winning that game 12-3, but the Baycats got through it, getting 3 2/3 out of Adam Kahn. Brad Grieveson came on to work 3 1/3, and then Kalen Clarkson working the 8th. So everybody else is available tonight, but if you're a Baycat fan, hopefully won't be needed. Frank Garces with the 2-2 count on Sean Pettner. Second baseman. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Pitch from Garces, and it's fouled off. Two balls, 2 strikes. Garces slowing things down a little bit here as this one's fouled off, and the at-bat will continue. Garces, as we mentioned, has a championship ring from his stint with this club in the 2018 season. A remarkable year. That 2018 season that Frank Garces was here, the Baycats took not only the IBL championship, but also the pennant by 3.5 games, 27-8 record that season. His first appearance here in Barrie in almost 4 seasons. And looking sharp here tonight with a 1-0 lead in the 5th. The left-hander taking his time on the mound. Now time is called as Pettner wants to step out.
Was not agreeing on the sign with Tyler Plumpton, I don't think. Just staring in and not really nodding or setting up.
Garces had a very quick pace through the first 4 innings. Now in this at-bat, he's really slowed it down. This one hit on the ground, slowly. Jansen with time, makes the throw across, and he beats Pettner by a stride and a half, one away.
I bet that's not really a coincidence, the fact that he's shifted the pace this much. He's a major league experienced guy. Something like a one-run lead is not going to change his pace. I wonder if going through this lineup is coming up to being the third time through, he's changing his pace to try and throw off the hitter's rhythm a little bit. They've seen him twice now, and he's been pitching quickly, consistently. If he throws slower and they grow a little bit more impatient while they're waiting, it'll throw them off a little bit.
They have 4 hits off him so far. Josiah Devapalin, the DH tonight. One of 7 strikeout victims this evening. Lifts this one to left field. McGarry Doyle. Couple steps to his left, makes the catch, and there's 2 out. You mentioned the 2 seasons he pitched for the San Diego Padres, 2014 and 2015. Made 55 big league appearances, all but one of them were in relief. And 40 strikeouts over those 2 seasons. 0-1 lifetime big league record with a 4.60 ERA. Granted free agency after that 2015 season. He re-signed a minor league contract with the organization. Stayed in the Padres system, pitched a full year in AAA for El Paso. After 2 years at the big league level. All that experience, still just 32 years old. Originally from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic.
Mentioned as well, he's got experience within Lidom, the Dominican Winter League.
To second base. Running throw by Owen Jensen for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Cardinals go 3 up, 3 down for the 2nd time tonight. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Baycats. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV. With Kendra Doyle and Patrick Melbourne, I'm Ben Davey at Vintage Throne Stadium. A 1-0 Baycats lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Tyler Plumpton, Owen Jensen, and Noel McGarry Doyle. Boy, these 3 to come to the plate here are about as tough as the outs can come. This will be a good test for Adrian Salcedo. See how he does facing this part of the Baycat order. Plumpton will start it off with his .364 average. Jansen to follow at .370. And Noel McGarry Doyle at .355. So these are the 3 highest averages in the lineup tonight, Patrick. Inside, first offering. Plumpton tonight 0 for 1, popped out to the second baseman. Plumpton has driven in 13, still looking for his first home run of the year. Hits this one to the left side. Shortstop bobbles it, makes the throw. In time for the out, and a nice stretch by Josh Niles. Kept his foot on the bag, full extension. and Plumpton is retired.
And that was hit hard, and I think a little harder than Luis Jean had thought, but it was hit right to him. He'll be disappointed that he didn't get that one immediately.
I'm sure we got a lot of Cardinal fans enjoying the broadcast tonight on Baycats TV. Welcome. We're glad to have you watching along on the online stream. And we've got Cardinal fans in person here tonight at the ballpark. A lot of red and blue jerseys on that third base side. And a lot of friends and family members of the Cardinals making the trip up Highway 400 here on this Thursday afternoon.
Had a chance to broadcast a game with their play-by-play voice, Jarrett Matthews, earlier this season. That was fun.
They'd love to get their second win against Barrie this year in enemy territory.
They've got a good crew up in that media box up there with the statistician, PA announcer, and game day manager. A bunch of very nice people in Hamilton there.
Well, I hope to get there sometime. As mentioned, I mentioned before, Hamilton is the only IBL ballpark that I haven't seen in person yet, and only the second ballpark I haven't seen a game at yet. I've seen Guelph Stadium, but wasn't there for a game. And I've not seen Hamilton's ballpark yet. 0-2 on the way from Salcedo, and that's in the dirt. Cardinals organization known as the Thunderbirds earlier in their existence.
It's true.
Owen Jensen 0 for 1 with the strikeout tonight. Here's the pitch on the way, on the ground, and it's just out of the reach of the second baseman, Sean Pettner, into center field.
Sean Pettner did a good job to try and get to that ball, showed his speed at second base, showed his range, but it was just a little bit too far up the middle, and Jensen took advantage of the gap in between the shortstop and the second baseman there.
He's been the busiest guy on the field for the Cardinals defensively tonight.
And it's been a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes he's looked really, really good. Other times it hasn't gone his way. But from the really, really good, we can tell that he's a good, talented fielder and that those miscues are not the norm.
Made a beautiful backpedaling somersault catch earlier in the ball game and then committed the game's first error the following inning. He's had a lot of balls hit to him tonight. Noel McGarry Doyle with a single and a stolen base. Was unable to score when Juan Familia flied out in the third to end the inning. Jansen the lead at first, being held on by Niles. 1-0 pitch. Called strike. And the count is even.
It's a good pitch, right where he wanted it. Would have jammed McGarry Doyle on the inside part of the bat if he had gone to swing.
Owen Jensen is 4 for 4 in steal attempts this year. Low scoring game. Let's see if he's thinking about a theft here. The one out of the inning. He goes. The pitch.
Good call.
Fouled off at home plate.
Yeah, that was a good call.
And McGarry Doyle protecting the plate. Keep him alive at 1-2. Juan Familia on deck. Ryan Rio to follow. An unearned run for the Baycats. The lone tally so far here in this fifth. If you're just joining us, Jake Wilson scoring the game's lone run in the fourth inning. One of the best pitching matchups we've seen here at Vintage Throne Stadium this season. Probably the best. Salcedo at the belt. And now he fakes a throw and steps off to keep Owen Jensen honest at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and now he does draw a throw. We've seen 2 stellar performances by Claudio Custodio with the Guelph Royals this season. And now Adrian Salcedo pitching very effectively here for the Cardinals tonight. Runner goes. Pitch is inside. Here's the throw down from Burns' side. Not in time. And the shortstop, Luis Jean, having a conversation with the umpire there. He thought he got the tag on in time. Stolen base.
Perfectly timed stolen base for Owen Jensen. Certainly looked from our perspective as Jane tosses the ball back to Salcedo in frustration. Still not happy with that call, visibly. It looked from our perspective like Jansen got under that tag.
Hard to tell up here with the cloud of dirt, but I thought he had it stolen. But the umpire right there in position to take a look at the tag and the slide. So a 2-ball, 2-strike count here. So Jansen with the stolen base. Here's the pitch. 2-2 on the ground, foul. Jansen at second, 1 out. McGarry Doyle at the plate. Big pitch coming up here. Crucial point of this ball game. Baycats looking to add to their 1-0 lead. McGarry Doyle waggles the bat. Check on the runner. The 2-2 pitch. Nope, he stepped off. Adrian Salcedo really thinking about Owen Jensen here, knowing the magnitude of that base runner. Fans looking for an RBI here off the bat of McGarry Doyle, and stepping off again is Salcedo, really slowing things down. He's in no hurry.
Yeah, at some point you have to pitch to the batter. He knows how good Noel McGarry Doyle is at the plate, and he knows how fast Owen Jensen is at second base. If you're Jansen, you almost want to challenge him right here.
Let's see if he's thinking of doing that. 2-2, he does not go, and this one's hit high in the air. Right side. It's the center fielder going back for it. Near the warning track, he makes the catch. Tagging is Jansen. He's going to get an extra 90 feet of real estate. On the fly out by Noel McGarry Doyle, and there's 2 away.
Right fielder number 22, Juan Familia.
Juan Familia is due for a clutch at bat here. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Love to get that average up as well. Hitting just .222 coming into today. And Familia was 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 last night at Christie Pitts in Toronto. So he's due for a big RBI. Let's see if he can deliver here with 2 away in the 5th. Owen Jensen with a single, a stolen base. He takes third on the fly ball by McGarry Doyle to deep center field. 2 out for Juan Familia, the right fielder. First offering from Salcedo. Called strike.
Another well-placed strike from Salcedo.
Yeah, it's not like he's all over the strike zone tonight. He's finding his spots, as is Frank Garces. Really, really good pitching matchup here tonight between 2 of the best.
Salcedo will have a little bit more confidence because he had his best IBL stats in this ballpark.
In the dirt, blocked nicely by Burnside. Runner stays put. And the count is 1-1. This is the second of a 3-3 for the Baycats. They're in Brantford tomorrow night to play the Red Sox. And that does it for the month of July. So the month ending with back-to-back 3-3s. Here's the pitch from Salcedo. And another strike. It's 1-2.
Strike zone staying consistent. From our angle, it looked like a strike.
One ball, 2 strikes to Juan Familia. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Ryan Rio on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here. 2 away. Righty-righty matchup. Adrian Salcedo with the pitch. Strike 3. Clutch pitching by Adrian Salcedo. The Baycats strand Owen Jensen 90 feet away at third base. Patrick comes to the mic to call innings 6 and 7. When we return, it's 1-0 Baycats after 5. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bechet. a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie, or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer!
Sixth inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. We've seen a heck of a game from Frank Garces, and to tell you more about Frank Garces, here's Kendra Doyle.
Fans are quite excited to see Frank Garces back into the Baycats lineup. Baycats fans love watching this talented pitcher who has some of the greatest stats within the league history. I asked Baycats fan David Kennedy about Garces and the 2018 championship win, which Garces had been a huge part of. David said watching Frank Garces was terrific. He says compared to many pitchers, he was probably one of the best that season. David said he is excited to have Garces back on the Baycats to see the benefits he will bring to the team.
Thank you, Kendra. As we've got a nice baseball sky at the moment as we begin the sixth inning. Sixth inning brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Canadian Brew House, our house is your house. It'll be Luis Jean, Tyler Duncan, and Josh Niles this inning for the Hamilton Cardinals to lead things off. It'll be Jean. Jean 1 for 2. He grounded out in the first inning and hit a single in the third. He also had that play in the last half inning where he thought he tagged Owen Jensen at second base. The umpire disagreed, and he was really not happy about it. Took off his hat, kind of walked slowly back to his position, and he swings at the first pitch from Garces and fouls it off to the right side.
Great report by Kendra on Frank Garces for fans and viewers who may not be as familiar with his 2018 tenure here with this club. But I can't remember if we talked about it during the break or during the broadcast, but having Garces on this roster has got to be, a huge morale boost to so many of these guys. And one in particular who comes to my mind would be fellow Dominican Juan Benitez. I mean, a guy who, having another strong arm like Garces in the rotation takes a little bit of pressure off him. He doesn't necessarily have to be the ace and can maybe pitch a little bit more confidently. Having a teammate who can eat up a lot of innings as well.
Jean's fouled off the first two pitches and now steps out of the batter's box. Needs an extra second. Mentioned at the start, Cardinals wearing those bright blue, powder blue jerseys. Baycats wearing their throwback reds. Hit off the end of the bat. Popped up, right side, moving over is the first baseman, James Anderson. He gets under it and he makes the catch, one away.
The St. Louis Cardinals had a throwback powder blue, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if they still wear them or not, but if you look back into the 80s, you can see images of the Cardinals wearing, St. Louis Cardinals wearing a jersey
I think they brought them back. Do you like the powder blue look?
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely a throwback look for them.
Garces has really... We mentioned it, in his Baycats career, he's thrown almost exclusively strikes. He walks just about nobody. And today, again, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 56 strikes, only 16 balls. That was strike number 57. And that was ball number 17.
One of the things I like about the IBL uniforms is that most of them look very close to Major League uniforms. Like you can go right through the whole league, and you got the Guelph Royals, the Brantford Red Sox. Those comparisons are obvious.
Swing and a miss, and it is 1-2.
Baycats kind of have a Dodger blue look with the lettering and the color on their normal blue uniform.
This is Tyler Duncan. Duncan reached base via the single in the first inning, is also struck out. Hoping to avoid the strikeout here from Garces. Here it is. And just miss. 2-2.
That was close. I think Garces kind of thought he got the third strike on it. Home plate umpire Chubb Avea has given both pitchers a nice big strike zone to work with tonight.
2-2. Got him. Second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Josh Niles.
Frank Garces has retired 9 of 10, 6 in a row, and shows no signs of tiring here in this 6th inning.
And that was strikeout number 8 for Garces.
We mentioned his last appearance on this mound in August of 2018 in a playoff game, Game 1 against the Kitchener Panthers in the IBL Championships. He throws 9 shutout innings. The Baycats lose the game. At least he knows that won't be the case tonight, as he's got 1 run to work with here from his teammates.
Pitch down low to Josh Niles.
It does seem odd that, and you know, big league baseball is no different than the IBL. Sometimes the league's most dominant pitchers don't always get a lot of run support to help them.
Yeah, you're right about that. Strike in the zone, count goes 2-1. It's kind of unfortunate when that happens. 2-1 count to Josh Niles. He's the 3rd batter of the inning. First one, Luis Jean, popped up. Second one, struck out. And after that swinging strike, we're now a strike away from a second strikeout in the inning. That was the 81st pitch from Frank on the mound.
How many strikes of those 81?
61.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been good. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out to Josh Niles. Kicks and throws. Got him!
Wow.
So Niles was standing very close to the plate, and the umpire decided that no matter how close you stand, the strike zone's the strike zone.
When you're as dominant as Frank Garces, you're going to get those calls. Niles thought it was inside, but Chubave rings him up.
A couple of strikeouts in the top of the 6th. Heading to the bottom, it is still 1-0 Baycats. You're watching on Rogers TV Barrie and on Baycats TV. Fans, Baycats tickets are now available for every game at Vintage Throne Stadium this season. Head to barriebaycats.com/tickets to buy online or find a location close to you to find deals today. And Ben Davey, when you go to the ballpark, you hope to see games like this.
Absolutely love it. I mean, I love low-scoring games. I love pitchers' duels. I know other fans will like the slugfests, the home run derbies, but to me, these low-scoring games, every little thing on the field gets magnified so much. Every base-running miscue, every great defensive play, every controversial third strike call. It just really, and the fans here tonight are enjoying it. You can tell they're living and dying with every pitch tonight.
You know, it would be perfect from my perspective to see the rest of this game be kind of that pitching duel, but also to see a home run or two while I'm on the mound.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love the home runs, and maybe we'll see a couple before this night is over, but the way Adrian Salcedo and Frank Garces are pitching tonight, it's looking like the scoring is going to be slim pickings.
Ryan Rio homered yesterday. Would love to see that power again here. It'll be Rio, then Branfy Infante, and Jake Wilson. Salcedo comes home, and a big cut and a foul back, and it's 0-1.
And if the Baycats win tonight, our Baycats player of the game will be awarded an unopened 1989 pack of Topps Major League Baseball cards. And we're going to do that every home game for the rest of the season.
0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Compliments of some boxes that I found in my clutter that I bought 30 years ago.
So are you going to put them in a binder and have them?
I've got thousands of baseball cards and binders already, and these are just boxes that I never opened. I intentionally didn't open them, thinking that my kids might appreciate them, or I might open them up one day. And after 30 years, this year we were talking about baseball cards on the last broadcast. I just decided right then, I'm going to start giving these out. Just give them out to people that would enjoy opening them. And so I gave you 2 packs. You're very lucky being my color announcer tonight. Everybody else up here got 1.
1-2. Rio hits it to right, and that is gonna drop in fair territory and go all the way to the wall. It looked like it was going even farther off the bat. Rio will be happy with a double.
The fans were hoping Rio might take 3. He hit that to a deep part of the ballpark, and that ball got away from Osika, went off of him, and went all the way into the corner.
He is red hot at the plate right now, and Tristan Osika could not make the catch. It's a double for Ryan Rio.
Rio homered to right at Christie Pitts last night.
And that looked similar to that off the bat, didn't it?
Yeah, maybe not quite as far as the ball he hit last night, but that ball probably would have cleared the fence at Christie Pitts.
Here's Infante. Branfy Infante is 1 for 2, reached third and got caught trying to go for home. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and the first pitch is outside to Infante. Rio is not really a speed threat, but man, he has been so good at the plate this month. 1-0 coming from Salcedo, Rio's former teammate, Infante's former teammate as well. And the 1-0 is low. 2-0. Branfy Infante had that 2-homer game not that long ago here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
Yeah, he's been very productive offensively this year. It's kind of come in spurts, though.
2-0 is a strike, 2-1.
I'd like to get some consistency at the plate this season. 209 average in 14 games coming into tonight.
And that's a strike, 2-2. His 2 home runs both came in that game. He has 7 RBI on the season. Batting now with nobody out. Salcedo takes a deep breath with his glove near the chest. Now comes home, and it is low, 3-2, full count. Haven't seen too many of those today with the way Garces and Salcedo have been pitching. They've been pitching so well. They've been generating contact earlier in at-bats. 3-2, here it is. And that one nearly hits Infante. It's ball 4 up and in. And the Baycats have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 6th.
First walk of the ball game by either pitcher here tonight. And now a conference on the mound as we'll see how much longer they decide to go with Adrian Salcedo. There is some action as we speak over in the Cardinal bullpen.
85 pitches so far from Salcedo.
And he can give you more. The question is, how much more are they going to want to get out of him here tonight? 2 on, nobody out here in the 6th inning. This is a critical juncture in this ball game.
And warming up for the Hamilton Cardinals is Julian Russell, one of their right-handers.
Country music night here at the ballpark, so I don't know if you can hear it on the Baycats TV feed, but we've got some fans wearing cowboy hats. And
you a big country music fan?
You know what? I've grown to like country music over the years. It wasn't what I grew up listening to, but having worked in radio and getting a chance to listen to some other stations over the years, it kind of grows on you after a while. How about you? I take it that's a no.
I'm just trying to figure out
A nice
how
way to say it.
Respond to that. It's not my number one choice.
That's fair enough.
But, you know, it's made for a really good theme night. Everybody's super into it. And
Punk rock isn't my favorite choice. Maybe we should have a punk rock night here at the ballpark.
How everybody's really gone into this theme night and really enjoyed it. Cowboy hats everywhere. Pitch coming out from Salcedo is hit to the left side. It's curving, and it's going to drop. Rio's good around third. Throw coming to the plate is cut off at third. Now comes home. Rio's going to be safe. The Baycats had a run. Infante to third. It's a double for Jake Wilson.
They thought they had a chance to nab Ryan Rio at home plate, and a good strong throw by Anthony Buonwato. And Rio just getting in underneath the tag. The throw was a little bit high. And Ryan Rio hustling around third base. Once he saw that they were waving him home, he kicked it up into an extra gear. And a huge run for the Baycats. 2-0 now Barrie.
So Infante now at third, Wilson still at second, or now at second rather, and there are still 0 out in the inning. Here's Anderson. Reached on an error his last time up. Giving Frank Garces run support here in the 6th. They've added 1. Can they add another? That's a strike, says Chabave.
Still nobody out here in the 6th. First time tonight the Baycats have got 3 base runners consecutively.
And that's in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher. Coming home's Infante. Flips it to the pitcher. And for the second time tonight, Branfy Infante is thrown out trying to advance to home plate. Wilson over to third, though, so the runner is still in scoring position.
And Branfy Infante might have jammed his leg on that slide.
Branfy Infante getting up a little slowly. Getting off under his own power, though, which is very, very good news. And Infante, who came so close to scoring a third run for the Baycats, is being helped into the dugout. Hopefully it's just something small. Big fan favorite here, and it's easy to see why. Branfy Infante is such a good player. And now some words being exchanged by the home plate umpire and a coach for the Cardinals, and now Josh Matlow's coming out as well, as Salcedo appears to be fixing his glove or his shoe.
Yeah, he's got his shoe off, and I'm wondering if he maybe got a little bit jammed up on that play as well. Anyways, he'll make some adjustments, and again, fingers crossed for Branfy, who was able to walk off under his own strength. But Salcedo with a nice play, hustling off the mound. He made sure he was in the right spot for that throw from Ryan Burns' side. The ball didn't get quite as far away as maybe Branfy Infante might have thought it did. Salcedo appears to be fine, so no issue there.
So hopefully Infante's okay. It's a 1-1 count, by the way, to James Anderson, who's up now with a runner at third base.
Matlow's standing on the baseline, and he's chatting with the Hamilton manager, and I think everything's okay here, but Josh maybe just wanting an explanation for the delay. He just wants to make sure this game keeps rolling along. Barrie with some pretty good momentum here.
Now, during the break in the action here, Ben, we'll talk about the upcoming schedule for the Baycats. And the fact that they're in the lead in this one it's a good thing, because it's a tough one. Over the next 6 games, they're going to be facing Guelph or Welland in 4 of them.
Yeah, and these are the games you definitely have to win. Not to undermine Hamilton as an opponent by any stretch, but you got Hamilton here tonight, Brantford tomorrow night in Brantford. Those are the 2 games that you got to win going into August, because you look at the last month for Barrie, you've got 3 games against the Welland Jackfish. They got to play Guelph 2 more times. You got London again. There are no easy opponents for Barrie in August at all. And again, that's not to say Hamilton's an easy opponent. They've beaten Barrie this season as well and had some very close games. But it just puts more importance on this win here tonight, and then the Brantford game again tomorrow.
This is turning into a fairly lengthy conversation between Chabave, Jeff Rose, and Josh Matlow. Jeff Rose still talking to Matlow as he finally gets the explanation. Heads back to the dugout.
I don't think Josh is arguing the play at home plate. It was pretty clear that the tag beat Branfy. So
I don't think necessarily it was an argument at all. Just trying to get on the same page with maybe a couple of the rules. So Anderson steps back in, right-handed hitter against the right-handed Adrian Salcedo, who's pitched very well today. But now a test for Salcedo on the mound. Righty has his sign, kicks and throws, and it is just low, and I mean just low. 2-1.
It'll be interesting to talk to Josh after the game and maybe just find out what that conversation was about, see if it was of any significance as to the play. Josh likes to talk to the umpires, and the conversations are usually civil.
2-1. Line to first base and through. The Baycats score another run. Anderson gets to first base as Osika fields it, throws it in. That was a hard liner to the right side, and it got through. It's 3-0.
Great effort by Josh Niles, just not able to come up with the catch. He was playing in a little bit farther than usual, so not quite the same reaction time he might have had if he was playing back.
And now one of the Hamilton coaches coming out to the mound. This looks like it'll be the day for Adrian Salcedo. So Salcedo exiting, they call for the righty. And it'll be Julian Russell to enter the game. We'll take a moment here on Baycats TV and be back with information on the new pitcher and to get you caught up to date. You're watching the Barrie Baycats and the Hamilton Cardinals on Baycats TV and on Rogers TV Barrie.
Now coming in to pitch for the Hamilton Cardinals, number 15, Julian Russell.
Welcome back. Baycats have added 2 so far this inning. We're in the 6th inning, and it's 3-0 for Barrie. They scored their first in the 4th inning, And right now they play with a runner on first base and 1 out. Carson Burns coming up. James Anderson is the runner on first. The runners that have scored, Ryan Rio and Jake Wilson. Hamilton still yet to score against Frank Garces. For the Hamilton Cardinals on the mound, second pitcher of the day, it'll be Julian Russell, and it was a really good pitching performance from Adrian Salcedo, Ben Davey.
Salcedo did all he could do through 5 innings. Unfortunately for him and for the Cardinals, things kind of unraveled in that 6th as the Baycats able to send 4 straight base runners on the base pass here. It all started with a double by Ryan Rio, and Barrie adding 2 to their 1-0 lead as a called strike starts it off. For Russell, this is his 7th appearance of the season, all of them in relief. No record coming into the game today, and a 7.36 earned run average.
0-1 the count. Kicks and throws. Burns takes it for a strike.
And no relation to our Russell, in case you're wondering, different spelling.
We've received an update on Branfy and Fonte, and Baycats say he is okay, so that's very, very good news. We've also got some clarification on why Josh Matlow was out there. Was wondering whether that was obstruction, and the umpires ruled it was not. So here's the 0-2, and it's in the dirt. Fielding it is the catcher for the Hamilton Cardinals. That's Ryan Burnside. keeps it in front of him. Anderson stays at first.
So obstruction on the pitcher would be what he was asking about Salcedo. I'd like to take another look at that. That would be interesting to see. It's not something I was really watching for on the play.
It was something Josh Matlow was wondering.
Of course, you have to give the base runner a clear path to the plate.
Here's the 1-2. And that is up and away. Just missed, 2-2.
But once you've caught the ball, you're allowed to block the plate, of course, to make the tag. But until you have the ball, you can't block that lane with the runner coming in and trying to score.
Thank you, by the way, to Kendra Doyle for helping us out on that one.
Good information.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. And that one's way up high. And suddenly it's another 3-2 count in the inning. Carson Burns just a ball away from getting on base via the walk. Tyler Plumpton on deck.
Well, the Cardinals in desperate need of an out here. Still just 1 away in the 6th inning and trying to keep this score within reach. It's 3-0 Barrie, and the Baycats looking for more.
3-2. Fouled right back to the screen. We'll do it again.
Great at bat by Burns, just trying to stay alive. The last thing he wants to do is hit it to the middle part of the infield. Double play combination of Luis Jean and Sean Petner, 2 of the best in the league. And they're looking for a ground ball here to get off the field and keep this a 3-run ball game.
Full count to Carson Burns here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Julian Russell kicks and throws. Swing and a miss. Burns down on strikes. Anderson to second, and it'll be a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning. Russell comes in and gets that double play. Heading to the 7th, Baycats added 2 in that 6th inning. And it is 3-0 for the Barrie Baycats. You're watching Baycats TV and in Barrie on Rogers TV.
For the Baycats, in the 6th inning of play, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared.
Seventh inning brought to you by Firehouse Subs Barrie and Aurelia. Only top quality freshly sliced meats and cheeses piled high on toasty hot rolls. Buy subs, save lives.
A couple of out-of-town scores, and how about this? The Brantford Red Sox, with just 2 wins so far this season, they're leading the Kitchener Panthers by a score of 5-2. That one's still just in the 5th inning. And the other game just in the 3rd inning in Welland. That's a 2-2 tie between the Royals and the Jackfish in Welland tonight.
Here's Anthony Buonwato.
Leading off the 7th inning for the Cardinals, left fielder number 37, Anthony Buonwato.
Lefty batter does not wear batting gloves against the lefty pitcher. These matchups tend to favor the pitcher, and it's a quick strike, 0-1.
Juan Watto has hit 2 fly balls tonight, both to center field. He's kept Jake Wilson busy out there this evening.
Foul back to the screen. Garces at 84 pitches somehow. What a night he's had. 0-2. Fouled back. And this is the type of pitching performance that he brought every single time out in 2018. Every time he was this good.
Just consistently finding the plate. He's been able to get out of jams when he's had them, and there haven't been many. Cardinals got 2 base runners in the first, pitched out of that.
0-2. Fouled away.
It's not like he's been unhittable. I mean, the Cardinals have had their chances, but just unable to get any momentum and string some base hits together like Barrie did in the bottom half of that 6th inning. And you saw how that worked out for them with a couple of runs to add to their 1-0 lead. Anytime the Cardinals have had a base runner tonight, Garces has bared down and been able to end the inning quickly.
0-2 coming up from Garces. Kicks and throws. Check swing. Got him.
He really varies his delivery as well, too. On that one, he came to the plate very quickly. With no base runners on, he didn't really do his full windup on that one, and I think he kind of caught Juan Watto a little bit off balance with that pitch.
And he's working quickly again as well. So here's Lane Renault.
Anytime you can vary the pace of your delivery, and we've seen a few guys around the league that do that very well, that just adds an extra weapon into your arsenal as a pitcher. They're having a hard enough time hitting them tonight to begin with.
Yeah, they sure are. Good off-speed pitch from Garces. I'm looking at Brant Infante's name as I say that, but it's Garces on the mound. 0-1. We've seen Brant Infante pitch, but he wasn't quite as dominant as Frank Garces. 0-1. Big cut and a miss. 0-2.
Yeah, Bareffi's been very good on the mound this year. In some of those lopsided games, Josh Matlow's given him the ball. Adam Odd is another guy that we've seen on the mound for Barrie.
Odd was a pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was a two-way player a couple years ago. 0-2, crowd getting behind Garces. The lefty kicks and throws. Just low. Count now 1-2 to Lane Renault.
Odd worked a scoreless inning earlier this year, and Fonte has 2 scoreless innings. So 2 Baycat position players with perfect earned run averages. Big pitch coming up here.
Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning. And for Garces,
the catcher, number 50,
his 12th strikeout of the game.
He's retired 12 of his last 13 and now 9 in a row. And he just seems to be getting better as this game goes on. The biggest trouble he got in was in the first inning, when 2 Cardinals reached back-to-back singles by Duncan and Niles. He ended that with a fly out.
And those were both weak contact singles. Big swing and a miss from Ryan Burnside. Burnside's been good defensively. Been held off the bases today, though, 0 for 2.
The only other hits that the Cardinals had was
that's a strike.
A single in the 3rd and a single in the 4th. And they've had nothing since.
A strike away from striking out the side. Ryan Burnside bats. Frank Garces has thrown to 3 hitters. Trying to strike them all out. Pitch upstairs. Count now 1-2. Garces takes a deep breath. Glove by the waist. Kicks and delivers. That is strike 3. All 3 batters in the inning go down by way of the K. Frank Garces has 13 strikeouts today. Heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, Baycats lead by 3. You're watching Baycats TV and the Barrie Baycats on Rogers TV Barrie.
Story Edition. Country at the ballpark here tonight. We thank you so much for joining us. Going to try and make it worth your while with the 50-50 giveaway. Who's ready for 50-50 tonight? Get your tickets out. $245 up for grabs. A cash prize of $245 going to the winning ticket number 689302. Once again, 689302. You are the winner of tonight's 50-50 cash prize of $245. Congratulations. Claim your prize in the broadcast booth here tonight and enjoy. Congratulations. For the Cardinals, number 40, Jose Fernandez. And a congratulations going out to Robert from Midhurst, winner of tonight's 50-50 draw here at the ballpark.
What a job by Frank Garces through 7 innings, has 12 strikeouts, and has just impressed everybody here. I think I said 13 at one point. It is 12 right now, but after striking out the side last time through, nobody would be surprised if he eventually does get to 13. Jose Fernandez on the mound. He is in his first inning of work for the Hamilton Cardinals. Just joined the team a little bit ago, just a few days ago. Former member of the Toronto Blue Jays organization. And Fernandez, the first lefty the Baycats will face today, Ben Davey.
Yeah, and the Cardinals bringing one of their best pitchers into this situation here, as Fernandez is not allowed an earned run. This is just his third appearance of the season, all 3 of them in relief, but he has been perfect so far and allowed just 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, no walks.
Foul back. Tyler Plumpton leads off the inning. That'll be him, Owen Jensen, and Noel McGarry-Doyle.
29 years old from Valverde, Mayo, Dominican Republic.
The 0-1. Fouled away again.
Boy, he's got a hard fastball. You saw it there. 6'3", 230. Lots of arm extension on that fastball, too.
Plumpton 0 for 2 today. Has not been kept off the bases in many games this season. Now it's bounced to the dirt, and Plumpton almost catches it. Almost makes a great barehanded catch, but it doesn't work out.
If
he had caught it, would he be out?
No. He's got good hands, though. We know that. Baycat catcher. He saved many runs.
If I was the home plate umpire and he had caught it, I would have given the out sign just for fun. 1-2 count. Staring in against the lefty, Jose Fernandez. That's hit to left field. Could find a gap. Both fielders going for it, and it's going to find a gap. Plumpton's on base again. Like I said, there haven't been too many games where Plumpton's been kept off the base paths, and he reaches base here in the 7th.
Second baseman number 14, Owen.
Just the second hit this season off Jose Fernandez. Worked a perfect inning against the London Majors on July 24th. That was his last outing, a 10-3 loss at home against London. He's been pretty dominant on the mound this year. These could be tough at bats for the Baycats in this final third of the ball game.
So here's Jensen. See the picture-in-picture from our cameras. There's a strike.
Jensen 370 coming into today, 1 for 2 today.
Patrick Melbourne, Ben Davey, Kendra Doyle here as well. Brian Backlund, our producer. Troy Wellington working the video board and some of the graphics today. Gary Mason, our statistician, and Rob Daniels, our PA announcer. We're glad you're here on Baycats TV. Here's the 0-1. Count now 1-1. Crowd very silent here. They want to see what Owen Jensen's going to do.
Yeah, it's been a noisy crowd tonight, but a bit of a hush right now.
Swing and a miss. Goes off the chest protector of Ryan Burnside. And the count now 1-2.
These fans have been waiting to see Frank Garces for the whole season. And they finally get a chance to see him here tonight. So I'm sure when news came out that he was the scheduled starter for tonight, that certainly encouraged some more fans to come out and get a chance to see him.
Some of the fans creating their own sound effects. 1-2. Got him. Jensen down on strikes, 1 away.
Good pitching by Fernandez. He's got some excellent velocity.
Left fielder number 95.
Wish we had a radar gun because I'd love to know what that fastball's at.
Barrie Doyle.
So here is Noel McGarry Doyle.
Baycats have been pretty aggressive at the plate and on the bases tonight. They've had a couple of guys thrown out at home.
Burnside's played good defense behind the plate. There's a strike.
Even sending James Anderson there at the end of the 6th inning. I mean, I like the move, and obviously trusting Carson Burns to try to make contact and put the ball in play there, but it ended up being a strike him out, throw him out double play. And that was big for the Cardinals to keep this a 3-run ball game.
There's a strike again, 0-2. Strike zone a bit bigger now than it was in the 6th inning where it was a little bit smaller. It's been big for most of the game. It just shrunk a little bit there for an inning or so. 0-2. And that one just missed, 1-2. Fernandez, the third pitcher of the day for the Hamilton Cardinals. And the lefty comes home and strikes out Noel McGarry Doyle, 2 away.
Back-to-back strikeouts, and this is exactly what the Cardinals are looking for.
Right fielder number
Have Fernandez get quick outs here and try to get back up to the plate and try to see if they can get some scoring opportunities off Frank Garces. The chances have been few and far between here tonight.
4th time through the order now, by the way, for the Barrie Baycats. They have a 3-0 lead here in the 7th. Here's Familia. Big cut and a miss on a pitch upstairs. It's 0-1.
Boy, he just could not catch up to that fastball. Fernandez blew it right by him. Familia has 2 strikeouts already tonight.
And that's exactly what the fastball is designed to do when it's working. 0-1. Off speed, goes inside, 1-1.
Good patience by Familia to take a pitch. He's due for a big at-bat. We mentioned it last time he was up. He's been stone cold at the plate, let's be honest, as of late. As good as he's been defensively, he'd like to get that average up and contribute a little more offensively here.
We've seen what he can do as he swings and misses 1-2 with the big power in his first week with the Baycats.
Yeah, got off to a great start. Don't get me wrong.
Looking for that hot streak to come back at the plate. One ball, 2 strikes. Here it is. Inside, 2-2. There is a gap up the middle between Petner and Luis Jean. Runner Plumpton takes his lead, and that is a strikeout. Juan Familia down on strikes. He actually, Jose Fernandez did, he struck out the side, just like Frank Garces did in the top half of the 7th. So this game has seen 6 strikeouts in the 7th inning. Heading to the 8th, Ben Davey to call it for you. You're watching Baycats TV and the Barrie Baycats on Rogers TV Barrie.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
New pitcher for the Barrie Baycats is the right-hander Brandon Hillier. He has been one of the most reliable relievers for the team this season, and he's a setup guy. He comes in situations like this, the 8th inning, taking his warm-up sauces now. And Hillier in that late part of the bullpen alongside Brad Grieveson, Chris Cox. These are guys that we've seen an awful lot because Josh Matlow trusts them and they do a good job. Hillier will be facing off against the bottom of the order, Sean Petner, Josiah Devapaulin, and Tristan Osika, who's at the top of the order, so the 8, 9, and 1 spots. And the Baycats currently have a 3-run lead, which Ben Davey hasn't really been the big story. The big story has been Frank Garces, but the bats have looked pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, Barrie had a very tough opponent of their own to face tonight in Adrian Salcedo, but were able to string together some offense in the 6th inning, building on their 1-0 lead, making it 3-0. Still an opportunity for Hamilton to make this an interesting finish, but they'll have to try to do so now against Brandon Hillier, who comes on to work for the 14th time this season. He's an IBL veteran, time in Burlington with the Bandits and the Herd, and he's here in Barrie for his 3rd season this year.
Top of the 8th inning brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs. That's Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Back with the play-by-play, here's Ben Davey.
Pitch from Hillier is lifted high. It'll stay on the infield. And it's the first baseman calling for it. Nope, it's the second baseman. Jansen makes the catch, and there's one out here. Hillier, a native of Orangeville, 27 years old.
Designated hitter number 32, Josiah Devapaulin.
Last worked in London on July 22nd in that 4-3 loss. Picked up an inning of relief in that game. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. And the pitch to Josiah Devapaulin is a strike. Josiah 0 for 2 tonight. 3-0 Baycats. We're in the 8th. Hit on the ground and through into right field for a base hit. 5th hit of the night for the Cardinals. 4 hits off Frank Garces tonight, and now 1 off Brandon Hillier.
Not fooled by that pitch inside the zone. Looked a lot like that first inning hit by Josh Niles, I believe it was, where it wasn't hard contact, but it was just placed very well. Might have even been that 3rd inning hit by Luis Jean.
And here comes Tristan Osika with 1 out in the inning. Runner does not go, and he squares to bunt, and it's a foul ball.
You see yesterday that the Toronto Maple Leafs broadcast was wondering if the batter was going to bunt right before the home run?
Before the Rio home run.
The Boscarino one.
Oh, right. Wow.
Because it was a potential bunting situation. And that's why
and that was a big...
some would discourage the bunt.
Yep. He's swinging there, and he fouls it at home plate, and the count is 0-2. Devapalin does not have any stolen base attempts this year. It's just his 4th game. An important base runner here with the Cardinals down by 3 in the 8th. Tying run on deck. Strike 3. 2 down as Hillier gets him on strikes.
Just behind that pitch and smacked his bat down in frustration because he thought he should have got it.
Luis Jean with a .317 average coming into tonight. 18th game. Has reached base safely once. Singled in the 3rd inning, but was unable to score as Tyler Duncan struck out to end the 3rd. Frank Garces looking for a win in his home debut here in 2022, and this one is into center field. Brandon Hillier, 2 base runners, 2 outs in the 8th, and the inning continues.
First time this game, the Cardinals player has got on base more than once. That's Luis Jean's 2nd hit.
Fielder number 55, Tyler Duncan.
Only the 2nd time in the game they've had 2 base runners in an inning. And Tyler Duncan now will try to keep this 8th inning going. He represents the tying run in this 3-0 ball game. Hillier's career IBL record 1-6, 70 games.
Yeah, but record for relievers tends not to be super reflective on how they pitch.
Yeah, it's interesting because he gets used in middle relief innings so much that it's not often that he's the pitcher of record. With all the outings of work, he's got 70 lifetime IBL appearances, only 7 decisions.
You can be amazing 90% of the time and have a couple of bad days as a reliever and end up your season with an ERA of 2 point something but a record of 0-2. So it tends not to be super reflective.
20 strikeouts this season, counting the one he just got, so he's 3 away from his IBL career high, which he had in 2019 with the Baycats. 1-1 count here to Tyler Duncan. We're in the 8th, Barrie by 3. Hamilton trying to get on the board. That one's low, and the count is 2-1.
I don't mean to be critical of this zone, but that would have been a strike earlier in this game. And that's not a critique. He's been a good umpire today. Had a pretty good zone. It just hasn't been the most consistent zone we've seen.
2-1. Swing and a miss. And Brandon Hillier now a strike away from getting out of this 8th inning jam. 2 on, 2 out.
And if you're not getting the zone you want, you go in for that swinging strike pitch. Got it there.
On the top step of the dugout with some applause here with the fans, urging their teammate Hillier to end it here. Here's the pitch. Foul back to the screen.
Heads up.
As tough as the Baycats schedule is going to be in August, opponent-wise, they only have 2 back-to-back games, and that's August 6th and 7th, and then to end the season on the 20th and 21st. But some really tough opponents after this weekend. Brantford tomorrow, and then things get really difficult. They got a makeup game in Guelph on a Tuesday night. Welland visits twice more.
I noticed that Sean Petner, who was almost hit by that foul ball, is not sitting where he was sitting in that at-bat. Or earlier in this at-bat, I should say.
And now Hillier steps off. Hard to believe we've only got 9 games left after tonight, and 4 of them here at home.
Season's gone by pretty quickly.
Sure has. Been an interesting year for the Baycats. Bit of a roller coaster. Definitely an improvement on last year. And ball 4. Baycats dugout screaming. They thought that Hillier got the 3rd strike. The inning will continue.
So the reason you're starting to see fans and players start to complain about the strike zone is because of the inconsistency.
First baseman number 30.
The Baycats were very unhappy with the strike zone last night at Christie Pitts in Toronto, and they felt that it wasn't being called the same both ways. Now it possibly is a case where the strike zone seems to be changing from the start of the game to the end of the game.
Players are okay with unusual strike zones as long as they stay the same from start to finish. This zone has been fairly big for the first 5 innings. It has gone down a little bit and become smaller in the 6th. It became a little bigger in the 7th, and that's one of the reasons why you saw 6 strikeouts in the 7th inning.
What a block by Tyler Plumpton on that ball in the dirt. Kept it in front of him, didn't panic, runners stay put. So this is potentially a game-changing at-bat here with Josh Niles at the plate, 2 out in the 8th. The bases are loaded for the Cardinals.
The zone has shrunk just a touch again here in the 8th.
Devapalin at third, Gene at second, Duncan at first. This one fouled back.
I would have caught that.
A little bit below the top of the screen, and it's 1-2. And again, the Cardinals down to their final strike here in the inning.
That's 2 straight games where if there was no screen there, I would have caught a foul ball. And I would have autographed it for someone. And it would have been
worth
their
more than the
prized
baseball cards
possession.
I'm handing out tonight.
Well, you can autograph those.
1-2, and it's lifted to shallow right. It's going to be Owen Jensen backpedaling. The right fielder calls him off. Juan Familia to make the catch. The Cardinals leave the bases loaded in the top of the 8th as the Baycats come pouring out of the dugout to give high fives to reliever Brandon Hillier. Still 3-0 Baycats as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base.
That was huge.
We'll get to your game prizes in the top of the 9th inning.
Bottom of the 8th inning, we're at Vintage Throne Stadium. I'm Ben Davey along with Patrick Melbourne and Kendra Doyle enjoying this 3-0 Baycats lead on this Thursday night at the ballpark. Second game of a 3-3 as the Baycats will head out to 403 and play the Brantford Red Sox tomorrow night on a Friday evening.
So we're talking about you giving a card pack to the player of the game, right?
Yes.
So we've decided that you signing what is essentially a blank card here and handing it with the pack to the player.
That devalues the whole promotion, I think.
Okay.
But anyways, we have 1989. I don't know if I can hold these in front of the camera here, but
hold on. Working on it. By the way, Ryan Rio's up.
There we go.
There we
okay,
go.
So
hold on.
Topps
Nobody's
baseball
there. We
cards
go.
from 1989 for our Baycat player of the game. If they win, we will give this to whoever we choose for the player of the game.
Of course, we should mention that Topps is not a sponsor.
No, these
affiliated
are
with the Baycats. It's just Ben's old collection that he's giving away.
compliments of some unopened boxes in my basement that have been sitting there for 30 years, and we're finally unloading them. Pitch is low. 3-1 to Ryan Rio. Rio 2 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. Pitch. Rio steps out, and it's a called strike. Rio just gave up on that pitch and wandered away. I don't know if he was trying to call time or he was just decided early that he wasn't going to take it. Here it comes.
I think the latter.
Got a piece to stay alive.
That had some heat on it, didn't it? Ryan Rio is not often behind pitches, especially right now when he is as hot as anybody on the team.
Payoff pitch from Fernandez. Fouled away again. Great at bat by Ryan Rio. Guy like Fernandez who has had such sharp control and strong velocity tonight. You want to keep those at bats going, and this one hit on a line, and it's right into the glove of Sean Patner, one away.
So Ryan Rio's bat broke on that swing, and he went down and looked at it and decided to give the fans a show a little bit there and break it completely over his knee. You can hear the bat break on that swing, though.
Kind of a Bo Jackson move there as he heads off to the dugout. Ryan's a colorful personality, and he's always got a flair for the dramatic. After he hit his home run last night at Christie Pitts, he came over to the dugout, and I saw him do a fun little helmet spin, kind of like a Frisbee thing. He kind of spun the helmet as he threw it onto the bench in the dugout.
So that reminds me, actually, something we don't tend to see a lot of in the IBL right now are big home run celebrations like we've seen in Major League Baseball the last few years. Heads up. So, no home run jacket, no necklace. The Padres have this spinny necklace that they put on.
Yeah.
The Red Sox have like this grocery cart.
You're right. Yeah, I know. What is with that? That's the most unusual one I've seen. Swing and a miss for a strike. 1-2 is the count here.
So between the jacket and that Padres necklace and the grocery cart, I wonder which team is going to come up with something. I know.
So the Milwaukee Brewers have a bell.
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat because way back in the old days, before
How old are we talking here?
before baseball was even really baseball. And in fact, if you go to the Field of Dreams movie site, when they play games, often there's a bell that the players had to ring the bell before after they would score a run, and that's how they would signify that a run had been scored to the scorekeeper. I don't know why the scorekeeper would need to have that sort of, cue.
Should we get Gary a bell?
Great idea.
But the Brewers also have that slide that the mascot goes down in the outfield.
Bernie Brewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendra was just mentioning something to me. We'll bring her in as the third member of our broadcast crew in just a moment.
Fernandez with a 3-2, swing and a miss. Good pitching by Jose Fernandez. He looked a little rattled after he didn't get the call on the 2-2 earlier in that at bat. He comes back and he blows the fastball past Branfi and Fadi for the third strike.
What were you saying, Kendra?
I have heard from a couple of the guys that there is apparently a hat, but we just aren't sure what it says, so I will definitely try to get that out of a few of the guys.
Well, someone's wearing a cowboy hat right now in the Baycat. It's country and western night.
Well, it is country night, so.
That one fouled over the trees, and it's a strike to
I think
Jake
the
Wilson.
Jackfish have like a fireman's hat or something. So we're starting to see it.
Some really good pitching by Jose Fernandez here for the Cardinals.
We should get the mascot to do like a backflip or something.
It's a called strike 0-2.
I'm sure wherever the mascot is, I'm sure he can do a backflip.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch, and it's outside as Fernandez wastes one. Wilson does not chase.
With the full costume on.
Get some shares on that video, I'm sure. 1-2 from Fernandez. Swing and a miss. What a great piece of pitching by Jose Fernandez, who comes on in relief of Julian Russell. And after surrendering a single in the 7th, he retires 6 in a row. Back-to-back strikeouts as he gets Infante and Wilson. And it's do or die for the Cardinals, trailing by 3 as we head to the top of the 9th. Baycats are up. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bachet, a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp. See you this summer!
Top of the 9th inning with Kendra Doyle and Patrick Milbourne. I'm Ben Davey. The Baycats on top by a score of 3-0 in Frank Garces' home debut for 2022. Looking to pick up his first win of the season.
Brent Hillier in for a second inning of work. 9th inning brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs.
And Anthony Bonwato will lead off the 9th here for the Cardinals. Lane Renault to follow. Ryan Burnside after that. It's a called strike to start him off. That middle part of the order, 5, 6, 7 due up here for the Cardinals. Only one base running opportunity between the three of them so far tonight. Frank Garces tonight, 12 strikeouts. Very sharp through 7 innings of work here. And a called strike, and it's 1-2.
See the stat on the back of Mark Grant's card? It almost looks like Frank Garces' Baycat stats.
Oh, really?
294 strikeouts and 161 innings in college.
Wow.
Or in high school.
Oh, that's high school. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. So I think everybody up here has opened their cards tonight. I'm not sure if Rob did, but Kendra hasn't. She's saving hers. We're having some fun with these 1989 Topps Major League Baseball cards that I found unopened in my basement. Gary had a Roberto Alomar rookie card in his pack. And it's a card that I already have, so I wasn't too disappointed by it. But
Gum is stuck to the back card. Still stuck. Now finally getting it off.
1-2, foul off. And the count holds to Anthony Bonwato. Three nothing Baycats in the 9th.
Big 1-2 count here.
And this one's hit to center field. Wilson charging, and he makes the running catch. 1 out in the 9th. Patrick, Kendra, and I will be back here on Saturday next weekend Baycats with a couple of road games, Brantford tomorrow, Guelph on Tuesday next week, and then the Welland Jackfish will make their first of 3 games against the Baycats, 2 of them here at Vintage Throne Stadium in the month of August. So we get Welland here on Saturday the 6th, and Thursday the 11th. Baycats are in Welland on the 20th. Baycats in a battle to get into the top half of those standings and see if they can lock down home field advantage for the first round of the playoffs. Got some work to do following another game behind the Maple Leafs last night, as that one's fouled off 0-2. Some exciting weeks ahead as we hit the home stretch of the 2022 IBL regular season. No balls, 2 strikes. Hillier looking for his second strikeout in this relief outing. Here's the 0-2, and he gets the called strike. Down goes Renaud, and Ryan Burnside will be the final bullet for the Cardinals here tonight.
Catcher number 50, Ryan Burnside.
Bottom third of the order, only 1 for 9 today between Burnside, Petner, and David Paulin.
Swing and a miss. Hillier coming at him with straight gas. Cardinals in danger of their losing streak, reaching 13 if this score holds up here tonight. Got about the best they could possibly ask for out of Adrian Salcedo heading into that 6th inning tonight before he had to leave the game, but he was dominant through 5, kept them in the ball game.
Easily his best start of the season. Looked more like the 2019 Adrian Salcedo.
Hillier with a 1-1, and it bounces up to the plate.
Just left that one in the hand just a little bit too long.
Just 6 hits for the Cardinals tonight. 9 for the Baycats. Hillier working from a stretch with no base runners. 2 balls, 1 strike. On the ground. And it's off of the second baseman. And it's let's see if they give him an error on that. Jensen tried to backhand that ball. It will be E4, so the first error of the ball game for the Baycats. And it keeps this game alive.
That was a tough play. I think the error is correctly scored, but it was a tough play by for Jensen. I'm not sure he would have got Burnside at first, even if he had fielded it cleanly. Should mention quickly that the newly redesigned BarrieBaycats.com features a brand new TV page that's spoiler-free, BarrieBaycats.com/TV, and a brand new highlights page as well, BarrieBaycats.com/highlights.
So a ground ball that could have ended the ball game, and the Cardinals have some life here with a runner on and 2 out. Sean Pentner will try to keep this 9th inning alive. Number 8 hitter here for the Cardinals with a runner on. Looks at a breaking pitch, and it's 1-1. Josiah Devapalin is on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here in the 9th. He would be the tying run. Petner tonight has been busy defensively. Hasn't done much at the plate, though. He's over 3, and the bat goes flying out of his hands. Couldn't hang on to it, and it went over way past the first base coach's box. Fortunately stayed on the field, so he'll get that bat back. The fans may not have been quite so generous.
They gave him a bit of chalk to help the grip.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Fans urging Brandon Hillier to get the final strike and send everybody home happy here tonight. Baycats up 3-0. Runner at first, 2 out. The 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's fouled back to the screen. The bat will continue.
Just got a piece of that.
This crowd has thinned out considerably from the start of the game.
Still a pretty good crowd here, though. Thinned out considerably, which tells you how many people were here at the start. Still a lot of people here.
Cardinals want to keep everybody here a little bit longer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Hillier, and it's on the ground. Back to the mound, into the glove, and he will take it himself and step on the bag, and that's a Baycat winner. Frank Garces picks up his first win of the season here at home in a 3-0 Baycat victory, and Mr. Garces will be the proud recipient of a pack of unopened 1989 Topps Major League Baseball cards as our player of the game here tonight.
He was exactly what we expected. He was so good today, exactly the kind of pitcher he was back in 2019, and the Baycats get the win. What a game it was for Barrie. Pats coming alive at the right time, and what a pitching performance it was. Baycats win it, and it was well-deserved.
13th straight loss for the Cardinals. The Baycats improve their record to 19-14 as they head to Arnold Anderson Stadium tomorrow night to face the Bradford Red Sox to wrap up the 3-3 weekend. Final tonight from Vintage Throne Stadium, Barrie 3, Hamilton nothing. For Kendra Doyle and Patrick Melbourne, I'm Ben Davey. Good night from the Barrie Community Sports Complex in Midhurst.
Is there a game next Thursday?
Saturday.